Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to introduce Kumi to us. And I'm sorry, your name is?
Betty.
Betty. Kumi and Betty. Kumi's come all the way from Japan. And she, in actual fact, calls SHEN. And again, it's about specifically how do we all connect? And it gets stronger, these connections keep getting stronger and stronger. But Kumi comes from Kochi, Japan. She was born there in 1972, and after graduating college, she worked as a PC magazine editor. However, she gave birth to two little children, boys or girls?
Boys.
Two boys. Well, that's your handful right there.
Yeah.
While raising the family, learned Eastern horoscope from an instructor familiar with Buddhism. Starting a leadership course based in Buddhism, psychology, and cephalology. I don't know what a cephalology is. What is a cephalology? Folks, do you know? That is cephalology? It's obviously got to do with the mind.
It's about the way of the brain.
It's the brain. Okay. In 2006, the course offered was in 20 prefectures and offers over more than 30 classes and lectures every month inside and outside Japan. The classes are soon to be offered in Nepal, China, Vietnam, Singapore. She's a highly experienced lecturer at international conferences such as Nepal, ILO, the Educational Institute of Ohio State University, Clover, Japan, CEO of and director of the Foundations of Wakeners. Wakeners, I like that. I quite often say that. Come on, wake up! If we could just wake ourselves up, right? Our goal is to train resources to contribute to the development of the world and the community and the family. I think, folks, the spirit is brought here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everyone, my name is Kumi Kaise. I am from Japan. It's my great pleasure to meet all of you. My English is not good, so today I invited Betty to be my interpreter.今日は私が日本国内でレクチャーしている仏教をベースにしたメンタープログラムを通してどのような活動をしているかお伝えしたいと思います。
So today I would like to teach you all about the Buddhism-based mentor program that I've been lecturing throughout Japan and also abroad.
その前に先ほどもご紹介いただきましたけれども、私自身について少しお話しします。
And before I start, even though he's already introduced me earlier, but I would like to introduce myself a little bit.
私は元編集者ですが、出産を機に退社、2人の息子を子育てしながら趣味のタロットカードを使ってインターネット占い師として独立しました。
I used to be an editor, but when I got married and gave birth to my two sons, I quit my job and started as an internet fortune teller using my hobby, tarot card.
毎日たくさんの相談を受ける中で、人にもっと明確なアドバイスをするためにメンターを持ちたいと思うようになりました。
I've started to get asked by advices from many people, and while I was doing my job, I decided I would like to learn more about how to give advice, and so I'll be able to give more clear and accurate advice to people.
そこで出会ったメンターである藤井康夫先生は仏教や東洋の学問に非常に精通した方で、私は彼のようになりたいと思い、彼のもとで学ぶようになりました。
That's when I met Mr. Yasuo Fuji. He is a professor who's really proficient in Buddhism and East Asian studies. And I wanted to become just like him, so that's when I started to learn with him.
当時の私は母親と仲が悪くて、母親のことを嫌っていました。
Me back then, my relationship with my mother was really not that good and actually really hated her.
私の母はアスペルガーで不器用で感情表現が苦手で、そのことでいつも父親から叱られていました。
My mother had a type of Asperger, and because of that she was really clumsy, she was really not good at expressing herself, and because of that my dad always scolded her around.
母を否定する父を見習って、私もいつしか母を否定するようになりました。
I grew up watching my dad deny my mother, and eventually I started to deny her myself too.
しかし実際彼女は音楽や料理の才能は素晴らしくて、何より娘の私や孫たちにかける愛情は非常に深いものでした。
But the truth is, she's actually extremely talented in music and cooking, and above all, she had deepest love towards her daughter, which is myself, and also her grandsons.
しかし母の欠点にフォーカスしている私にはそれが全く見えませんでした。
However, because I was only focusing on her negative side, I was never able to realize that side of her.
また長男に対しても同じように、言うことを聞かない子、謝らない頑固な子という部分にのみフォーカスし、良いところもたくさんあるのにそれが見えませんでした。
Similarly with my older son, I was only focusing on the negative side of him, which is he doesn't really listen to me, he doesn't apologize, he's so stubborn, and even though he has a lot of good points too, but I wasn't able to realize those either.
そうやって否定的に見る母や長男との関係は良いものではありませんでしたが、私自身がそう見ているだけのことであることを自覚して、母や息子に謝り、母や長男との関係は少しずつ良いものになっていきました。
And because I was only negatively looking and focusing onto my mother and older son, our relationship weren't that good. But when I realized what I was doing and apologized to them and started to act differently, that's when our relationship changed.
そうやって家族の良い部分にフォーカスできるようになると、外での人間関係にも変化が起きてきました。
Once I started to be able to focus on the positive side of my family, my relationship outside my family also started to improve too.
人の優しさや面白さが見えるようになり、人が好きになり、楽しくなりました。
I started to see people's kindness, how fun they actually are. I started to like them and started having fun myself too.
すると仕事の業績も面白いようになりました。
And as a result, my work result improved drastically too.
自分の思考特性を知り、自分がフォーカスするものを変えるだけでこんなに人生が豊かになる。
I realized by just changing how I think, what I focus on, to change my cognitive tendency, my life enriched so much more.
人生は自分さえ本気になればいくらでも変えることができる。この素晴らしさを世界中の人に伝えたいと思い、10年今の活動を続けています。
If you put your mind to it, anybody can change your life. I really wanted to deliver this message to everybody around the world, and that's when I started my activity 10 years ago.
さて、メンタープログラムが誕生したきっかけですが、SNS で知り合った私のホームタウンに住む一人の女性でした。
So how did my mentor program start? It all started with one lady I met through social media who lived in my hometown.
彼女は整体の仕事をしていたのですが、いくら体を整えても悩みや苦しみを抱えている人はまたすぐに体調が悪くなる。だから本当に人が元気になるには心と体の両方をケアする必要があるけれど、当時私の田舎ではそのようなプログラムはありませんでした。
She was an acupuncturist, and she realized that for those of her client who comes in, no matter how much she cured them at that point, if that person has worries or pain or problems, they will come back again because they get ill again. So to truly make somebody well, you need to care for both their emotion and also physical. But back then, I lived in such a countryside, and there was no program that would teach me such things.
そこで仏教に精通する私のメンターにお願いして、問題解決と目標を達成できる脳イコール心の作り方を10回のカリキュラムとして組んでいただきました。
So I reached to my mentor, again he was proficient in Buddhism, and I asked him to make 10 class courses for me, which will be able to train your brain and heart to be able to solve problems and also reach your goals.
苦にとらわれている人は苦しいところにフォーカスをする思考特性を持っています。
For those of you who are caught in the sorrow and pain and problems, you have a cognitive tendency to focus on the pain.
でも自分自身が好きでそこを見ているのに、その自覚はないため、苦の原因が外にあるように感じます。
Even though you choose to focus on the negative sides, but it's so hard to realize that you don't realize it. That's why often people tend to think that the cause of your pain is outside of yourself.
それを仏教では苦の種と言います。では人の苦の種はどうやってできるのでしょうか。
In Buddhism, we call it the seed of pain. So now let's talk about where the seed of pain comes from.
それは精子と卵子が受精してから17歳までに母親の影響を 100% 受けて作られるそうです。
It is made between the period from the moment of fertilization up to 17 years old, with 100% influence coming from the mother.
そういったのは高血圧の遺伝子レニンを発見した日本の筑波大学の名誉教授村上和夫氏です。
And this fact comes from Honorary Professor Kazuo Murakami from the University of Tsukuba, who found the renin gene which contributes to high blood pressure.
精子と卵子が受精した後、ミトコンドリア DNA を母性遺伝します。このミトコンドリア DNA の影響を受けて母親の感情を子供に移してしまうと言われています。
After fertilization, the mitochondrial DNA is said to come from the maternally. It's maternally inherited, which means it comes from the mother's side only. And getting influenced by this mitochondrial DNA, it is said the mother's emotion translates into her child.
先ほど私には2人の息子がいるという話をしましたが、実際には13ヶ月しか年の差はありません。
Earlier I mentioned I have two sons, and actually their age difference is only 13 months.
ほぼ同じ時期に私から生まれたのに、その性格は全く別のものになっています。
Even though they were born in between such a short time period, but their personalities are actually quite different.
皆さんもご兄弟がいらっしゃる方は分かると思いますが、ご兄弟とは性格が違っていますよね。
For those of you who have siblings, you might understand, but have you ever realized that you and your siblings have totally different personalities?
私がその2人の息子の性格の違いを見たときに、一番感じたのが、上のお兄ちゃんを妊娠中は私は毎日たくさんの人と会ってたくさんの人とコミュニケーションを取る仕事をしていました。その妊娠中にそうした時期を過ごした長男は非常に社交的でたくさんの友達を持っています。
And after carefully looking at them, I realized that while I was pregnant with my older son, I was working outside, meeting so many people, talking to so many people, and as a result, my older son is very outgoing. He has many friends. He talks a lot as well.
逆に長男を出産してからすぐ次男ができてしまったので、お腹に次男がいるときは私はほとんど外に出ませんでした。その次男はすごくインドアで、あまり友達と話すことはせずに一人で何かをすることを好みます。
And right after my first son was born, I got pregnant right away with my second son, and so I stayed indoors most of the day and didn't really talk to anybody. And so my second son is really introverted. He doesn't really like to talk to people. He prefers to do things by himself.
また私の生徒さんの中に4人の子供を持つ学校の先生がいます。
Another story. So one of my students, who's a school teacher, and she has 4 sons.
その4人の子供の中で3番目のお嬢さんだけが非常に気性が激しくて、いつもその子が問題を起こすと彼女は不満を言っていました。
Sorry, my bad. Not 4 sons, 4 children. And within these 4 children, her third kid, who is a daughter, she's the only one who has a bit of temper. So every time she causes some problems, she will always complain about her.
その3番目の女の子を妊娠中もしくは出産後にどのような心理状態だったかを私は聞いてみました。
So I decided to ask her how her emotional state was while she was pregnant with her daughter or right after her daughter was born.
すると離婚したご主人との仲が一番悪い時に妊娠出産をしていて、しかも妊娠に立ち会うといったご主人は仕事で来れなくなったので、その主人に対して怒り爆発させながら文面台に上がったのが祖父母だそうです。
And she told me that that's the time while she was having problems with her husband who was divorced from her. And also while she was giving birth, her husband promised her that he was going to come to support her, but he ditched her last minute and she was in full anger while she was giving birth to her daughter.
例えば逆子の話もありますけれども、逆子になるのは何でかというと、子供ができた時にお母さんが強い不安や孤独を感じたりすると子供は逆子になりやすいと言われています。
And also, sometimes while a woman's pregnant, the baby will turn upside down. Do you know why that would be the chance? Well, the reason would be, it's said that during pregnancy, if a mother is feeling unsure or not well, the baby will tend to turn upside down.
ですからお母さんが逆子やつどわりで悩んだ場合に何が不安か何が心配かをちゃんと聞いてあげてそれが解決するとお腹の赤ちゃんは元に戻りつわりも収まることが多いのです。
And it is also a cause for nausea during pregnancy. So if you wanted to cure either problems, the best way to do so is to ask the mother, what are you unsure about, what are you feeling, and to solve her problem. And usually that will stop those symptoms.
あと私はよく小学校や幼稚園でも講演をするのですが、子供が勉強しないとか子供が夢がないと悩むお母さんがよくいます。
I also do lectures in schools and kindergartens a lot too. But a lot of the time, mothers will come to me for advice that, I want to make my kids study well. I want to have my kid have some dream to follow. And there's so many mothers who are worrying about their children.
そんなお母さんたちに、お母さんは夢や目標がありますかと尋ねると、大体のお母さんは夢はありませんと答えます。
So I asked the mothers, do you have a dream or do you have a purpose in your life? And oftentimes they will say, no, I don't.
また私が関わる地元の高校の先生、私立の高校の先生は若者が自分たちの町に戻ってこない、将来人口が減り子供が減り自分たちの仕事がなくなることにフォーカスをしています。
And also another story is that there's a local private high school teacher that who used to talk to me, and he says, I'm so worried about the youngsters leaving town, and so that will lead to a population decrease and children will decrease and eventually will lose their jobs.
若者はそんな暗い先生ばかりがいるホームタウンには帰ってきたくないと私は思います。
And because he's only focusing on the negative side, I don't think the youngsters would want to come back to hometown that has such a negative view on them.
子どもたちが希望を持って人生を歩くには、まず大人たちが自分の人生を夢や希望を持って建設的に生きていく必要があります。特に母親、そして教師が。
I believe for children to be able to live their life with hope, with happiness, first of all, the adults needs to live their life with dream and hope and live constructively, especially mothers and also teachers.
子どもの問題を抱えてくるお母さんや先生にビジョンを持たせ、子どもたちにしっかり向き合うことを教えただけで、子どもたちとの関係が良くなり、子どもはスポーツや勉強で結果を出し始めます。
By just teaching the mothers and teachers who come to me for advice to have your own visions and to properly face your children and solve the problem. Their relationship with their children will improve drastically, and as a fact, their kids starts to get good results in sports and studies as well.
そのためには母親や先生が建設的な思考特性と行動特性を持つ必要があります。
And to be able to do that, mothers and teachers, it needs to build a mentality, a constructive mentality for cognitive tendency and active tendency.
それはその思考特性は育つ環境の母親のメンタリティとその母親の影響を受けて作られた記憶にアクセスする必要があります。
And to do so, we need to access the memory that was created with the mother's mentality, and also the environment that one was raised in.
その記憶の整理にはとても時間がかかります。
And it takes a very long time to organize that memory.
17歳までに確立された思考特性を切り替えるには根気が必要で、それを一人で乗り越えるのはまず難しいのです。
To change the cognitive tendency that solidifies by the time you reach the age of 17, we need a lot of patience. And it is extremely difficult to overcome this just by yourself.
自分ではできているつもりでも、人はどうしても苦しい部分や苦手な部分を避けようとするのですが、その苦手や苦しいにフォーカスする癖を自覚して自分で修正するのはほぼ不可能と言っていいでしょう。
You may think that you're doing it well, but humans are built to naturally avoid difficulties or pains. So, to be able to focus your habit of avoiding these difficulties and to turn yourself into the right path is almost impossible to do just by yourself.
それを親が我が子に関わるような思いで共に歩き、一緒に乗り越えさせる存在がメンターです。
That's why you need a mentor who can overcome difficulties with you, just like a parent would walk alongside their children.
皆さんは英国王のスピーチという映画を見たことがあるでしょうか？
Is there anybody in the audience who's watched the movie The King's Speech?
その中に出てくる言語療法士はイギリス王ジョージ6世のメンターとして苦しい訓練に取り組み、諦めそうになる彼を決して見放さず、彼の喫音を見事に乗り越えさせます。
In the movie, the speech and language therapist Lionel Locke, who acted as a mentor for King George VI, and went through so much hard training with him, even when the king was given up, but he never abandoned him. And as a fact, he was able to successfully fix his stammer.
また2010年にテッドに出演したテンプル・グランディンもアスペルガーとして学習障害に悩み、メンターと出会うことでその才能を引き出してもらいます。
Similarly, Temple Grandin, who did a talk on TED back in 2010, she had autism and learning disabilities. But after meeting her mentor, her talent blossomed and they were able to develop her talent together.
人がその気になればどんな問題も必ず乗り越えられるし、どんな状況の中にも必ずメリットを見つけ出し、今いる環境の中に役割を持つことができるようになります。
If you put your mind to it, everybody will be able to find how to overcome any problem. And you will be able to find merit in any situations and find your own role in your current circumstance.
人はいくらでも変化できるし、協力し合うことで新たなものを生み出すことができます。
We are able to work together and create new things together.
その乗り越え方をブッダは2500年前に確立し残してくださいました。それを実生活に使えるようにしたものがメンタープログラムです。
2,500 years ago, Buddha constructed a way, a method to overcome these difficulties and left it for us. My mentor program teaches you how to use this method in your daily life.
皆さんは2011年、日本が大きな地震と津波に襲われて大きな被害を受けていることを覚えていらっしゃると思います。
I'm pretty sure everybody remembered there was a huge earthquake and tsunami back in 2011 in Japan, and there were a lot of damages done to everybody in the land.
私たちは世界中の国々からたくさんの支援を受けて少しずつですが復興を進めています。
Back then, we received a lot of international support from many countries around the world, and even though it's little by little, but we're restoring our land.
しかし津波で被害を受けた仙台の鈴木さんの水田は塩害とヘドロと油のためにもう作物が育たないと言われていました。
However, there's Mr. Suzuki from the town of Sendai. He owned a rice field. However, because of the tsunami, his rice field got salt damages, there's sludge everywhere and oil, and everybody told him that he won't be able to grow anything here anymore.
しかし鈴木さんは諦めず乳酸菌などを使って土を復活させ、地震の前よりも美味しいお米を無農薬栽培で作れるようになり、その米の値段は以前の3倍の値がつけられるようになりました。
However, he never gave up. He found a way by using lactobacillus to revive his soil, and he was able to start to make tasty organic rice. And this rice now costs 3 times more than what his rice used to cost.
塩害とヘドロと油が豊かな土壌を作るためには必要な塩であり、それそのものがメリットだったのです。
So the salt damage, the sludge, the oil, they were all necessary for him in order to make a rich soil, and these were actually all his merit.
世界は利益を追求し、今のような高い文明を築いてきましたが、もはや開拓する土地はなく、物質的に豊かになっても何のために生まれてきて何のために生き、どこに向かっているかわからないまま生きている人が大勢います。
Our world were able to create this high civilization by pursuing the benefit in the world. However, we are left with no more land to find, and we have more than enough stuff in our world to use. So now there's so many people who doesn't have a purpose in life, who doesn't know why they're here, and who doesn't know their goals.
まさしく今日のカンファレンスのテーマ、心の豊かさは世界が求めているものであり、そのためには人はその存在の尊さを自覚し、自尊心を高め、行き先を決めて本気で歩く必要があると私は考えます。
So today's conference theme, spiritual values, is just a thing I believe the world needs right now. And to be able to do that, we need to realize our value of existence, enhance our self-esteem, decide where we want to go, and sincerely start walking that path.
それを仏教では自灯明と言います。その意味は自分の行き先は自分で決めて自分で責任を取りなさい。または自分の行き先はいつも自分で決めているというものです。
In Buddhism, there's a word 自灯明, which means you need to decide where you want to go by yourself and take full responsibility for that. Or you have to always decide where you want to go.
私の好きな福岡伸一博士という生物学者は日本の青山学院大学の教授であり、ハーバード大学の研究員でもありますが、彼が言うには細胞は最初から何になるかは決まっていないそうです。
There's a professor that I really admire, Professor Shinichi Fukuoka, and he's a biologist in University of Aoyama in Japan. He's also a researcher in Harvard University. According to him, what each of our body cell becomes is not determined in the beginning. The cells have the freedom to become any body parts they want.
ある細胞が骨になろうとすると、その周りの細胞はその雰囲気を読んで、骨の細胞を生かすために筋肉になろうと自分で決めて筋肉になっていくそうです。
For example, if one body cell decides, okay, I want to become the bone, then the cells around the bone cell will read between the lines and realize that, okay, to be able to utilize this bone cell, I should probably become the muscle. And he decides, and he becomes the muscle.
だから福岡先生は言います。日本には自分探しをする学生がたくさんいます。自分が何になりたいのか何をやりたいのかわからないという学生です。
And he continues, in Japan, currently, there's so many students who are in the path for self-discovery. But they don't know what they want to be, they don't know what they want to do. So students will embark on the journey of this self-discovery and become eternal traveler because they will never reach to their end.
そして彼らは自分探しの旅に出かけて永遠の旅人になってしまうと、そうやって今世では何になるか決められないまま人生が終わっていく人もいます。
And there are so many of them who will end their life without being able to find what they want to do.
細胞が自分の行き先を自分で決めているように、私たちも自分の行き先を決めていけばいいし、その行き先とは周囲の願いを知り、周囲を生かそうとすればいいだけなのだということがこの話から理解できます。
Just like how the body cell decided where they want to go by themselves, we can decide where we want to go by ourselves. And we can understand from this story that to find that destination, you need to understand the desire of your surrounding and make use of your surroundings.
どんな状況の中にもメリットを見つける力を身につけ、自尊心を高めながら自分の人生を自分の責任として捉え、誰のせいにすることもなく行き先を決めて歩く。
We need to build that skill to find merits in any situations and to enhance your self-esteem. Always take full responsibilities for your own life and without blaming others, and always decide your own path and your own goal.
そして多くの人のお手本となり、子供が憧れ目指したいと思う存在、私自身がそういうメンターになりたいし、そういうメンターをたくさん育てたいと考えています。
I want to become the mentor who can be a role model to everybody and who are somebody who children will look up to and wants to become. And also, I want to raise mentors just like that around the world.
私がこれからやりたいのは母親の教育と教育者の教育です。
What I want to do the most right now is education for mothers and also for educators.
また組織や国のリーダーが自己中心的ではうまくないので、リーダーの育成もやっていきたいと考えています。
Also, if leaders of organizations or countries are selfish, it will never go well. So I would also like to educate leaders as well.
4月の地震では大きな被害を受けたネパールですが、ダムを作り、発電所を作り、農業改革をしていくと同時に、学校の先生の教育と政治家の教育をしていくつもりです。
Back in April, there was a huge earthquake in Nepal, and they've had a lot of damage. But as part of foundation workers, we've started to help them by constructing dams, making power plants, performing agriculture reform. But at the same time, I'm planning to educate school teachers, politicians.
ベトナムでは来年8月に幼稚園を開校し、お母さんや保育士たちの教育を徹底するとともに、教育大学の学生たちのメンタープログラムを学んでもらいます。
Also in Vietnam, starting next August, one of my students will open a kindergarten. And there I'm planning to educate mothers and kindergarten teachers. But at the same time, I'm planning to host my mentor program for the students from the Teachers College there.
地球上の70億人全員がすぐにポジティブに前向きになることは難しくても、人々が憧れる人間力と魅力あふれるメンターが増えれば、必ずその国や地域は物心両面で豊かになり、戦争は減り、世界は平和になると信じています。
It might be hard to make every 7 billion people on the earth happiest people in the world. However, the more such people increases, I believe, my bad, sorry. It's hard. However, I want to increase the number of mentors who are full of human powers and full of attractiveness. And by doing so, I believe the countries and regions will be able to be richer in both physical and emotional states. And as a result, war will decrease and we'll be closer to world peace.
今日ここに集う皆さんも脳と心を駆使し、心の豊かさを追求し、それぞれの分野でメンターとして活躍されていらっしゃると思います。
I believe everybody gathered around here are also a mentor in your own areas who use your brain and mind and pursue the richness of your heart.
そんな皆さんと出会えたことは喜びであり幸せです。
And it's my most pleasure and happiness to be able to meet everybody here.
ぜひ一緒に心豊かな人であふれる素晴らしい未来を作っていきましょう。
And together, let's make a bright future filled with people with rich hearts.
今日は良い機会を与えていただき本当にありがとうございました。
Thank you so much for such a chance to talk to you today. Thank you very much.
Wow. In Japanese, domo arigato. I'm sorry?
どういたしまして。
This is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Questions? Okay. Come on up. You have to come up so that we get you on video. Come on up. Oh, yeah, no. We need it for DJ gets ready.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to hear about your work and also just the global, your teaching too and some foundation. Here, I guess maybe I'm coming from a North American standpoint, there's so much research that's being done now in terms of neuroplasticity and the science behind that and how mindfulness, there's a great deal of CT scans and a lot of neurobiology and the physiology. So also as a result of this, we're a number of neuropsychologists and neuroscientists, they are developing programs, and it almost sounds, again, very similar to, and some of us that are teaching it, too, is, I guess my question really is can you give, as a result of your research and what you're doing, a concrete example of just how you do mentorship? Because there's a number of strategies, and most of them are grounded in Buddhist tradition, or some of the other traditions too, of just, can you give an example maybe of some of your, well, not really as much results, because I think the results speak for themselves of what you're doing, but no, just an actual concrete like strategy of how you do that.
So the simplest thing, first thing she would do, if there's somebody who has a problem, then the first thing she'll ask them is, what do you think the problem really is?
人がさっきの田んぼの畑の話ではないんですけれども、それが必要があって起きてきて、そこから必ず学べることがあり、メリットがあります。
And just like similar to the rice field story earlier, there's a reason for the problem that has occurred, and there's always going to be a merit that comes from that problem.
私たちがもっと豊かになり、もっと成長するためにさまざまなことが起きているんですね。
All the hardships that occur in our lives are all to contribute to the richness of our life and to our personalities.
でも私たちはさっきもお話ししたように母親からネガティブな記憶を感情を引き継いでますので、目の前のことに対してこれがメリットであるとすぐさま反応できないんです。
And because we have that negative image that we kind of inherited from our mother, it's extremely difficult to actually see that merits from the problem that's occurring.
要 要は不安とかそうネガティブな感情でものを見るから、それをメリットとしてきちんと捉えられないだけなんです。
And the only reason we cannot see this is because we're looking at the problem very emotionally.
I guess when I'm asking, there's some actual, like how you work with conditions around self-determination, so it's really about retraining the brain.
Scientist, I'm not a physician, but with a medical background, I believe, as Dr. Clancy, he pinpointed the fact, as Kumi did, that something happens very early, and it does feed back to our presentation about thought, God, and what we think, we create. And I think Kumi demonstrated beautifully that what that mother thinks is going to impact that baby. Now, we've known that for centuries, actually, but more and more now it's a clinical fact. So every thought that the mom and the dad have, certainly we know that child senses it. If that heart's beating in that baby senses the mother, senses things around them. So thought, even in that baby, see, the baby hasn't yet received or hasn't got the ability to exit into the world, but there's a spirit there, and that baby could be a very advanced spirit, and yet the spirit can't express itself. But when the mother confuses things with her negative thinking, and that's why Kumi always asks, well, what's the real problem here? Then when we get that, then the mother can start to change her thinking. So, in fact, just as a final point, Dr. Mackenzie did something a little bit more. When he would speak to the mother and the child, and normally it would be a teenage boy, he would identify the problem. Then he would teach dream programming so that they could go back and ask in the dream, really, what is the problem? And he had great success with that. So.
Very, very good. Shiv, did you want to say something? Come on up. VJ's going to get very upset if you're not in front of that camera. Thanks, Fred.
Thank you very much, Kumi. I think what you discovered with your own experience has been known in ancient wisdom for a number of years, and now science has caught up with it. There is a report of the American Academy of Pediatrics that links prenatal hormonal mix of the mother to the hormonal mix of the child with which it is born. So the prenatal problems of the mother get transferred or inherited by the baby. I have that report with me, and I can give you a copy. The problem in the United States and Canada now is at epidemic level. And that problem needs to be addressed, and it's very, very critical. Thank you.
Shiv, I have a question. Oh, wait, Shiv.
Kumi, if there's a lady here that is pregnant and someone very angry comes and touches that baby, what do you think happens to that baby?
If the mother is not affected by the angry person, it will be fine.
子供はお母さんの影響しか受けないので、お母さんがしっかりしていれば大丈夫なんです。
The child only gets influenced by the mother only, so if the mother is very strong-minded and she doesn't get affected easily, it's totally fine.
だからお父さんがいくら怒ってても、お母さんさえしっかりしていれば問題ありません。
So it doesn't really matter if the father is angry or anything. If the mother is fine, the baby is fine.
Listen, as a father, I know that as soon as the first kid's born, you're fighting for attention with the dog. You're in the lower level, anyway. Listen, come on up here, George, and come on up also. And Vicky is going to make a little presentation to say thank you, domo arigato, and there's a little presentation, a little gift. First of all, to George. Let's hear it for our speakers this morning. George.
Is it money? Very much.
Kumi and Betty, come on up. We'll just stand with them because it's for. And Vicky.
Again, thank you. Thank you so much on behalf of SHEN and everyone here. Thank you so much for your wisdom and sharing your wisdom and insights. And thank you so much, Betty, for translating.
Thank you so much.